guys, it's Sim Queen, and today I am back with another speed build. I feel like I've been on a bit of a roll doing these speed builds. I actually have 2 more lined up after this, so there will be some regularly posted, consistent builds, which I'm very excited about. I just feel very motivated to finish Windenburg because the next world is San Myshuno, and that's the one I'm looking forward to probably the most. I love building apartments. I think it's really fun, and there's so many different themes and ideas you can go with. So I have got big plans for San Myshuno, but first we have to get through Windenburg, and right now we are in the Crumbling Isles, which is the island of Windenburg that kind of has like the nicer, the description says high-end real estate. So that's really what I'm going for here. These sort of contemporary homes, almost with like a lake house vibe. That's kind of what I've got in my head for most of these builds. And what I was thinking is that, I said this in the last episode, or the last video, but Windenburg is supposed to be a very historic place. It's very old. It's been around for a long time. And I did include some builds that were meant to be very historic, and especially in that sort of like old Platzel area. So I did put in some very historic builds, but this is kind of interesting because it's completely different than that neighborhood. And I was thinking that maybe this island used to be completely empty, but now they are developing it and building here, and very few people actually own homes here. Most of them are either being in the process of being built or I guess being staged for sale. So that's what this house is going to be. There's going to be nobody actually living here. I don't have a family lined up for this home. It's just going to be like a brand new house that has been staged and ready to sell. And I'll probably do a couple of other builds just like that. So it doesn't have a lot of personal things, and I wouldn't say it's bare at all. It is fully furnished, and it does have some decor items and some clutter items, but for the most part it doesn't have any personal items that would suggest that anyone is living here. So that's the plan for this one. I currently have a Pinterest board just full of ideas for this neighborhood, and there were quite a few smaller lots, so I got those out of the way first, and then I will be moving on to another larger lot. And then also there is the one house, I can't remember what the family's name is that lives there. I should know because it's an iconic family. They live in that big sort of Tudor almost mansion here on the island, and I've been toying with the idea of leaving it there and renovating it in the same style that it's in now, that Tudor mansion, or just tearing it down and rebuilding entirely. Or renovating it to match the rest of the architecture around it with this sort of modern contemporary vibe. So I'm not exactly sure. I like the idea of maybe just one house having been on this island, and that house has been there for a really long time. There's been a family living there for generations. They used to have the entire island to themselves, and all of a sudden it became developed with all these newer houses surrounding it. I think that is kind of a fun storyline, and it also it'll look interesting to have that one older house there, hasn't changed a bit in years or generations, and then all these new houses popping up all around it. So I think that's kind of a fun idea. I might go with that. I'm going to save that build for the end just so I can kind of decide what I want to do with it. But yeah, that's pretty much what I had in mind for this build. The outside took some time, as you can tell. I didn't actually build this based on an image that I used on Google or Pinterest. I kind of just came up with this idea on my own, so it was kind of hard to figure out what I wanted to do for the colors on the outside, but I think I eventually get there. I do change the color of the front door because that sort of tan color, it wasn't fitting in with anything. It just looked out of place, so I did change that. But now we're on into the interior for the floor plan, which I actually didn't cut out. Normally I do cut that out because it takes so long. But this house is going to have one bedroom. The upstairs is one big bedroom, and it's got one bathroom. It's a fairly, I wouldn't say it's a small house. It is very spacious, but it is only one bedroom. And I find that my goal for these houses is not for them to look like family homes. That's really not the idea. More like high-end, upper-class real estate for like power career couples or bachelors. That's kind of what I have in mind. It's not going to really be aimed towards families, but There will be a family somewhere on the island, I'm sure, but that's really not the attraction here, I guess, when they were building this. So I use a lot of the new items with the Dream Decorator or Home Decorator kit. Is it even a kit? No, it's a stuff pack. Oh, I can't remember. I know it is a stuff pack. But I get them so mixed up. Most of the kits I don't really like that much. So that's how I remember which ones are kits and which ones are packs. If they're really good and I like them, then they're most likely a pack. If they're lacking, then it's a kit. That's how I usually remember it. But here I'm just adding in like some lighting, and I went for this sort of sage green color with the brown. I thought that was a nice contrast, and I do that throughout the entire house, which also I think that kind of fits in with the idea of having this home staged. Everything's sort of matched, and it doesn't have that much of a personal touch. It looks like it was decorated professionally. At least that's the idea that I was going for. The clutter on the shelves may be a bit much because, like I said, I was trying to keep this fairly professional looking and not too personal. So I may have been a little misguided there, but overall I'm happy with how this turned out. I'm excited to be sharing it. At the time that I'm recording this, I'm just trying to think of what's been going on in the world of Sims. Not a whole lot. I know that they are working on a pronoun update, which is great. I like to take these little voiceover times to talk about what's going on in the Sims world and sort of give my 2 cents on everything, I guess, and just discuss what's happening. And as far as, there is a new kit coming out, or is it a kit or a stuff? I'm really behind. As you can tell, I have not had a whole lot of time to check in on the latest updates. I know there is a Carnival related either kit or pack coming out. I'm fairly certain it's a kit. I don't know. I should check into that. But there is a Carnival inspired content coming out, and I did look into it a little bit, not that much because it didn't really interest me too much. The items seemed a little flashy for me, and when I play the game, it's usually families that I'm playing with, more like, I don't want to say traditional because that word's outdated, but yeah, it's more just families that I play with, and that pack just didn't really interest me too much. I'll take any content that we can get if it's not Star Wars, so I'll probably still get it, but definitely was not on my list. But what is on my list and what we might actually be getting is a wedding pack. There's been some speculation about that, and that is, for me, I know a lot of people say we still need things like cars and open world, and there's a lot of stuff that people still want, but for me, and this is controversial, but for me, the game is just about complete. It's got pretty much everything I want. I wouldn't mind cars, but I don't consider the game incomplete without them. At least that's not my opinion. But I have been dying for a wedding pack because weddings have become so boring that I actually don't even really do weddings that much anymore because they're all the same. It's all the same stuff. It's the same cake, pretty much all the same dresses unless you get custom content. That's really it. So it's just not something that I'm interested in anymore, and we definitely needed some content to sort of boost that excitement, and I think that's what might be coming. There's just been speculation. As of right now, at the time that I'm recording this, there's nothing confirmed, but they did drop some hints, and maybe we're running with it. But I have been saying for a long time that we really, really need that. Weddings are a huge part of life. Like, people love weddings. It's just a thing. And The Sims is all about playing with families and celebrating those big moments, and they need to update that. They just need to. Same with babies. We need an update for babies. They're so boring. They're just these objects that you can't really do much with. And it does disappoint me that in The Sims 3, we could do so much with them. We could put them in a stroller and take them for a walk. You could move them around. They didn't have to be just at their bassinet. And The Sims 4 just feels very boring. Like, they haven't really put that much time into it, and I really hope that they do, because weddings and babies are such a huge part of life and such a huge part of the game as well. And those are two things that desperately need some upgrades. So hopefully we'll see that eventually, but for now, if that wedding pack comes out, I will be very, very excited. I haven't really been doing reviews that much because There just hasn't been a whole lot of content that really excites me, and it's something I'm not really into. Then I don't want to do the review because I'm already going into it with low expectations and not really caring about it all that much. But if we get a pack that I'm excited about, I will be happy to review it. And like I said, I used to play with weddings all the time. My Sims always used to have weddings, but now I just buy the wedding arch, throw it in the backyard, put on a dress, and that's pretty much it, because there's not much else to do. It's all the same. Your Sims can't slow dance, which they could in The Sims 3, and that's a big part of weddings as well. So that part is kind of lame. I remember in The Sims 3, you would have a wedding, and it could be really fun because you could do it anywhere you wanted. Your Sims could slow dance. There was like a little cut scene. It wasn't the best, but it was definitely better than this. And I would love to see some upgrades for them to throw in some more wedding decorations is what I would like to see, because right now we have nothing at all. There's nothing wedding themed. I mean, you can make a cake and put it on a table, and that gives it a wedding look, but it's not that exciting. I think there's only one type of tiered cake that you can make, that basic white cake where you put the little heart toppers on it, and that's it. There aren't really any sort of wedding flowers. Your Sims can't have bouquets. We don't even have like a veil in the game. I mean, I'm a freak for weddings. I really am. I love weddings so much, but I mean, maybe not everyone feels that way, but I would just love to see the opportunity to dive deeper into those things and just do more, because right now I don't see a lot of wedding. Even when I watch Let's Plays, nobody ever has a wedding. It's always the same. So they either elope or just get a wedding arch and have a quick little ceremony. So that I'm really hoping is something we can look forward to. Like I said, right now I don't know if this is actually happening. It's all just speculation, but it's still fun to talk about and sort of discuss what we would like to see. So I want to know what you guys would like to see if we got a wedding pack. Or if you don't want a wedding pack, what kind of pack do you want next? Because for me, like I said, I think I've got just about everything I wanted to see. The country living pack really did satisfy that, for me at least, that need for a farming pack. We didn't get horses, which I would still love to see. I mean, we're never going to get them at this point. It's pretty clear. But I would have loved to have seen horses. But for me, I think that country living pack really sort of scratched that itch for farming. And yeah, I feel satisfied with it. So I've kind of crossed that off my list. I don't feel the need to get a farming pack anymore. And I mean, yeah, like that's pretty much it. I want to see more upgrades to the base game more than packs. Whenever I see a pack now, it doesn't even really excite me like it used to. I always just think like, that's great, but could we focus on upgrading the game that we have now? There's still a lot of bugs. At least for me, there's still a lot of issues in the game that I would like to work on. I'm glad that they're working on the pronoun update. That is something that should have been done a long time ago. So I'm really happy that they're using their resources to focus on that. And then when that's done, I hope that the next focus is babies, because there's just so much opportunity there. And I think it's just a missed opportunity. We don't really get very much excitement out of babies. They're around for a couple of days. They're an object in the bassinet. They annoy us for a few days and then they age up. So it'd be nice to be able to dive deeper into that and have some more opportunities. I miss being able to put your baby in a stroller and walk it around. I remember having those little bouncers, but I don't remember if that was custom content or not. Still something that'd be fun to see though. Just more opportunities there. And people do talk about cars as well. I don't really feel the need for cars. I would like to see them, but at the same time, in The Sims 3, I didn't really use them that much because they were expensive and it was kind of a waste of money. I'd rather my Sims have a nice house than a nice car, because I mean, you can't really do that much with it. I did really enjoy building the old cars. You could buy that old beat up car and rebuild it. That was really fun, and I always used to have my Sims do that. So I would love to see that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for what I'm hoping to see in the game. I really want to know what you guys are hoping to see though, because maybe there's some things I've forgotten about and you guys could mention them. Because yeah, I think that's really all the stuff at the top of my list, but I'm always interested to know what you guys think as well. And we're coming up to the end of the build now, so this is pretty much going to be it. I'm just struggling with the landscaping right now and trying to line up this little path with the fence. I eventually figure it out, but it was looking a little bit weird because it has this little side yard, and I wanted to kind of fill that up and make it look, I don't know, like landscaped, and like some thought went into it. So that was my goal here, but that's it for the build. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.